Well, all right. Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here. And, this is a video that I intended to make, a week or two ago. And I was getting all set. And, and of course, by now you've seen what it's all about because you've read the title or you've looked at the description or whatever. You know what the video is. Well, I was getting ready to actually make this video, and I realized this is not a video that I need to be making all by myself like I'm the only person on the planet. This is a panel discussion. Right? So I had to get a couple friends in. I got a couple friends in, and I brought them right in here, right into the world-famous As It Should Be studios. And we did about 2 hours discussing the songs we love by artists we hate. Yeah. And because it ended up running so long, we only really discussed 8 songs each, the three of us, but it ran 2 hours. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this in 2 parts. This is part 1. And then part 2, maybe it'll be up on Thursday, maybe it'll be up next week. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see about that. But yeah, so basically we're going to have 2 parts, and this is part 1. And get ready to be offended and start writing really, really mean comments, because we're going to talk about bands that you love probably. But also there may be stuff that you agree with. There's stuff that each of us likes that the other one hates or whatever. So whatever. Don't take it too seriously. Let's have some fun, all right? We have DJ Crystal Clear here and she has a great podcast that I'm also a part of called Original versus Cover. And then we have Tommy Von Voigt here of Tommy Von Voigt fame.
No podcast. But if I had one, it would be fire.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and we're just going to go with this. And I am old school.
You got paper.
I got paper.
Well, I am an analog girl in the digital world, but I went digital anyway. All right, so my first choice is, and this was hard because Paul said, come up with a list. And originally you said 8 or 10?
I said under 10 because I knew I wasn't going to quite be able to make 10.
So at first I thought it was going to be really hard to do, and once I got past the first one, it flowed. So I have like 22 choices. So I have to reel it in here. And my first choice is going to be a very egregious choice. And that choice is Eric Clapton.
Oh.
I hate Eric Clapton for a myriad of reasons, which if you listen to my podcast, Original versus Cover with DJ Crystal Clear and Dr. Paul Bertolino, you would know why I hate Eric Clapton. But the song of his that I really dig is Wonderful Tonight, which a lot of people hate that too. But I really love that song. There's just something about it. I guess it's a memory thing. When it came out when I was a kid and it was summertime and I was in bed and listening to it on the AM radio, and it's summertime in the 70s to me, and I know that that's blasphemous to you.
Well, it is, because you know that I hate me some Eric Clapton.
I know you do. Well, as everybody should. But,
well, I mean,
yes.
I'm assuming it's not because of his personality or things that he's gone on record saying. That's
not at all.
No,
not at all.
That is
only
just
reinforced.
Because of his guitar tone that you hate him, right?
Basically,
I figured as much.
And then everybody called him God and all that other horse shit. But
there's a little thing about his music sucking.
That too. Yeah, I don't think he's...
In my opinion.
He's not the greatest guitar player ever. He did not deserve all these people calling him God. Eric Clapton is God. He's a decent guitar player, but is he amazing? I don't think so.
You know what? I have to say I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, me being a guitarist, I sure as heck wish I could play like Eric Clapton, but...
We'll go down to the Crossroads.
And make a deal, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you may see Ralph Macchio there, but...
He might be a little more hype than people want to admit.
Way more hype.
Yeah.
I agree with all this, but I'm going to say this. One of the greatest guitar solos on any Beatles record is While My... I'm like, when Clapton shows up from While My Guitar Gently Weeps...
He crushes it.
I mean, things do kind of go to the next level.
Yeah.
There's this thing with Clapton where when he started out playing Gibsons, and then he switched after Cream to Strats. And I believe I read somewhere where he said he prefers playing Strats because they're harder to play or whatever, or something like that. More difficult for him. I don't know.
Really?
But I think that I haven't really dove like too deep down a Clapton rabbit hole because, quite frankly, I'm kind of like, Clapton. but people argue that he was better on a Les Paul than he is on Strats, and they wish he would switch back to Gibsons. And
Right.
I don't know. It seems like a silly thing. It shouldn't be the case, but
Well, it's a tone thing too. I
Yeah.
mean, SGs have a certain kind of meat to them that a Strat can
don't
only dream
have.
of.
yeah.
Well, there's my choice. And scene.
Okay. So, well, my choice.
Written on paper.
Well, I don't have my stuff in order, so I'm just going to pick randomly. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm going to just keep on with the same theme here
Oh.
Ooh.
and bring up Eric Clapton.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
As you've already gathered, also do not like Eric Clapton. I kind of never really liked him. When I was a kid, when his songs, I remember when like Lay Down Sally was on the radio, and I hated that song. And what else was there? There were just so many songs of his, and then later on when you had like, Tears in Heaven, I mean, what's not to hate about that? And I read a joke one time, somebody said, the wrong Clapton fell out that window.
Ooh.
That's rough. I didn't say it. I read it somewhere.
That is
I don't
rough.
mess with that.
I read it. I did not say it.
Oof.
But anyway, so as much as I don't like Clapton, I do like Cream. But Clapton, no. But there is one song, and it is not that one.
Oh.
I'm not into Wonderful Tonight.
All right.
Let It Rain.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Let It Rain.
okay.
That gets it's like a really good power pop Eric Clapton song. I like when he does his like arpeggio stuff, like him on what's the song on that he did with George Harrison on the last Cream album, Badge.
Badge. Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's just like, he sounds great on that. Like that kind of stuff. If he did more of that, I'd probably like him a lot more.
I like Badge, too. I also like
Yeah.
Bell Bottom Blues. There's more songs of his that I
You
like.
can
but I
find
still can't
exceptions
stand
to
him.
the rule.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's the thing with some of these. A lot of these, I think, I only like that one song that I listed. But in some cases, like with Clapton, there is a little bit of bleed because I really only like that one Clapton solo song. But again, like I said, there's Cream stuff that I like.
Yeah.
So that kind of counts, but it kind of doesn't.
And if you want to see Eric Clapton at his most hideous, watch the movie Tommy. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know what Eric Clapton looks like instantaneously, you're going to not recognize him in that movie.
Oh, I don't
Hideous.
think he was sober the entire time.
No. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Well, all right.
So it's on to you.
So over to me. So first thing I want to do before I get into my list for this entry and for the rest of the episode, I want to just bring up the idea of hatred of an artist. I think it's something that it's important for me to say because I'm trying to maintain an open mind with music. I really, truly am. I don't want to be the kind of guy that has a cutoff of a specific year and everything after that is all wrong, no good.
I don't know anyone like that.
I don't know anybody like that.
We've all been that person. We all know people like that. And I also know what it's like if somebody does it 10 years before your own personal cutoff, and how much it can be frustrating and hurtful when they lump all the stuff that you really cherish into the same category as stuff that you personally can't stand. So I'm trying to maintain an open mind like that. And I'm also trying to become aware that some music is simply not for me. For example, Drake. Literally everything I've ever heard that has his involvement in even a slight, if he even drove past the studio and I hear the song, it is appallingly bad. It is a musical crime. But I've had to come to grips with the fact Drake simply is not for me. He is making music that has gotten an audience. He has had a long, successful career. For me to say, Drake, you should stop doing what you're doing because it's abominable, that would be foolish. Why on earth would he stop doing it? It's working. It's connecting. It's resonating with people. It's never ever going to resonate with me.
You're the polar opposite of his fan base.
Of his fan base. I'm not his target. So it's hard for me to say Drake sucks because what Drake is doing is working for Drake. If I take every single Drake song on a case-by-case basis, every single Drake song sucks. But Drake as an artist, I can't say I hate him. I don't think it's fair for me to truly say I absolutely hate an artist, but I can hate their output. And I can also recognize that what they do might simply not be for me. That being said, I do still have some doozies on my list. So since we were just talking about a renowned, well-respected guitar player, my first entry is going to be...
Drake.
Eric Clapton.
No.
Oh.
Fallen Angel by Poison.
Oh.
So,
Let me throw in... I have to cut in really quick to throw in a little technical thing.
Oof.
It is best if we don't bang on the table because it's really going to go thump into the sound.
We're going to bang on the table all day.
So, will you people watching this video, do not bang on the table. It's going to totally mess the video up.
Yeah.
From home, they can't bang on
From
the
home, you can do it. But you guys...
So I have Fallen Angel by Poison with a very close, like an honorable mention for the song Cry Tough. So I made some notes for each entry, so you might see me looking at my list. It's just bullet points of things I wanted to bring up. So I had written for Poison, Fallen Angel. The band that gives 80s rock a bad name. I am so goddamn tired of people pretending this band is good. I'm even annoyed when people listen to them ironically. And why does Bret Michaels sing every song like a bargain bin country artist? He's from fucking Pennsylvania. So, seriously, I love 80s music. I love 80s hair metal, glam metal, all that stuff, whatever you want to refer to it. Poison is crap. Poison is genuinely bad. They are a band that CC is actually a pretty decent guitar player who gets shit on unfairly a lot. He's got some interesting tone. He's some really interesting licks. The rhythm section, they were serviceable. They didn't really do anything wrong. Bret Michaels is the problem. So even when that band managed to cook up a catchy song, he just craps all over it with "Hey, you on the whole road." Like, what are you doing? That is not. That's like, how are you? Seriously, he's from Pennsylvania. Why does he sing like that?
May I tell you this as a person from Pennsylvania, and specifically, I know where they're from in Pennsylvania. It's because Mechanicsville. That's like 20 minutes away from where I grew up. Because there's a contingent of people in Pennsylvania, even though we're 2 hours from New York and an hour from Philadelphia. We're not on the border of Virginia, okay? Mm-hmm. But there is a contingent of Appalachian people.
Okay.
Who spread out. I grew up with kids who were from Appalachia. Hillbillies, backwards, trucks on pikes in the yard, like you name it. And that is where they are from, and that is why he has that.
Okay, so it is kind of legit in a way.
Yeah,
he is legitimately white trash.
It's a natural thing, but he really lays it on thick because he thinks it's so cool when he's singing.
It's horrible. It just anytime that band managed to cook up a song that's halfway catchy, he manages to crap right all over it. And then there's like, okay, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Come on, can we please stop with Every Rose Has Its Thorn? That song is crap. It is schmaltzy bullshit. It is not good.
But I have a question. You made a statement saying that a lot of people think they're cool. Who are these people? I've never met them. I have never met these people.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? You possibly would not come into contact with the kind of people that think Poison is cool. But there's a lot of people who are seriously into 80s hair metal, glam metal, all that stuff, that seem to think Poison is a shining example of an excellent band from that era, and they truly, truly aren't. They make a mockery of the entire thing. They are the reason why people had a hard time taking hair metal seriously, especially in hindsight.
Yeah, they turned it into a cartoon.
They turned into a cartoon, and there are so many incredibly talented bands that might have had like the crazy look and the over-the-top sound and everything like that, but were genuinely talented and put out good quality music. Poison was putting out garbage. And every now and then, they shit out a good song, but Bret Michaels just shit all over that song. Fallen Angel manages to slip through the cracks. It's genuinely a catchy song. I really, really enjoy it, in spite of the fact that I cannot stand Poison. Michaels. And I further deeply dislike the fact that people make assumptions that I would like Poison just because of the kind of music I'm seriously into. And that annoys me. So, going on record... Poison is just flawed from the jump, man. I find it offensive when people can't seem to tell the difference between Poison and the good stuff from that era and assume I must like Poison too because lol 80s, Poison, spandex, Tommy will like it. No.
Well, I blame MTV for that because that's a broad brush that everybody... that era, well, of course you like that because it was in heavy rotation with the good stuff.
Right.
So,
yeah, I truly...
Well, so you guys got the official word. Tommy does not like Poison, so stop assuming it.
No.
I don't even know that song. I hate them so much.
Yeah, I don't either. If it wasn't on MTV, I don't know.
I don't know it, yeah.
Was it on MTV?
Yes.
Okay.
It was?
Oh, even if it was on MTV, I don't know it.
I don't know. All right. Oh, so we're back. And we're back with song number 2. And my choice, going through my list of 500 choices, my second choice, I will say that this is a band that I really hate.
Well, that would mean that it definitely fits then.
Like with the energy of 1,000 suns that burns inside of me. I hate this band so much because they got so popular thanks to MTV, and they were supposed to be the second coming of another huge band from where they're from.
Ooh, I already know what we're talking about here.
I think you may
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, so the band is Oasis.
Oh.
And the song is Wonderwall.
Ooh.
Now,
Wonderwine.
I don't know what it is about this song. It has like auditory crack in it.
For whom?
Well, for idiots like me, apparently. It's just something about it. It's just like stupid. It's kind of sing-songy, and then the chorus. And I don't know why I like it, but I like it. I hate all the rest of it. I hate them. I can't stand the two of them, the brothers. This is like the Laws. Do you remember the Laws?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
there
yes.
she goes.
Okay.
Aren't they still trying to get that album recorded?
I think so.
They're almost done, I swear.
They were
really
supposed to be the second coming of the Beatles when the Laws came out, and then everybody said this about Oasis. Oh, because they're from England and blah, blah, blah. And I listened to that whole album because, as everybody knows, especially Paul knows this, I don't poo-poo things without trying it first, as long as it's not going to literally hurt me or kill me. So I'd listen to the whole album. But boy, oh boy, it stinks. But this song, and maybe it's just like burned in my brain because of the repetitiveness of TV and radio and everybody walking down the street, my Wonderwall.
They did beat us over the head with that.
Yeah, it's the deadest of dead horses.
Yeah.
And I like it because whenever it comes on somewhere, I won't turn it off. I will listen to it, and I might even sing along.
Wow. Well, when those guys first came out,
I just want to check. Are we still friends?
I do.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I can't stand Oasis.
All right.
Well, see, now the thing about Oasis is that when they first hit, their reputation kind of preceded them because there was all this
hype.
Yeah.
Hype not just about them being like the next Beatles, but about what pricks they were too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went into this prepared to hate them already. And then I remember I was like, I think I was at my mom's house this one day or something, and MTV or VH1 was on, and Wonderwall I think came on. I went, okay, so here's this band. Let's check this out. And I watched the video, and I came away with it going, well, yeah, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. Like I really kind of came away like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I kind of came away going, like it's way overrated,
yes.
But it's not terrible.
No,
it's just kind of like a big shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
So, which is even more of a put down.
This is true.
It isn't even. There isn't even anything there for me to hate passionately. It's just sort of.
You can't even get up to make a fist. You're just like, oh.
But I kind of grew to dislike Oasis more and more over time, though. That was just my initial reaction to them.
Yeah. I was kind of like ambivalent to them for a while, and then I started really having some strong feelings, which we will circle back around to at a later point in this episode.
Okay.
But I do have a quick Oasis anecdote. I was on tour in 2002, it was, and we had a gig at the, I believe it was the West Palm Beach Amphitheater for Warped Tour. And we got there early enough that the previous night's show, the crew was still there and everything, the buses and everything was there. It was the Oasis show.
Ooh.
And there had been a terrible row, because they're British, so it was a row.
Row.
And row was at a row.
Row your boat.
Row your boat. And the brothers were fighting and everything like that, and so we were basically camping out waiting to do our setup and everything, and you could hear them screaming at each other from like tour bus to tour bus because they had to have separate tour buses because they couldn't occupy the same space.
That's right.
And it was basically we were kept up all night by Oasis having a screaming match.
I might have seen you on MTV because I remember seeing this on MTV.
It was 2002. Well, unless they did coverage of the Warped Tour, you wouldn't have. But
Yeah, but like the whole thing about them, just not specifically about that, but about how much they hate each other and yelling at each other. And I'm pretty sure I saw a video of the buses and like blah 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 blah, just screaming at each other.
If you can find the footage, see if you can find in the back by the buses somewhere. What the hell? We were driving It was a white Astro van, an 80s Astro van with a big red trailer. So if you see that in the footage,
that's you.
That's me trying to sleep in the back of a van while the Gallagher brothers are screaming at each other.
Rule of thumb, when you see the 80s thing, you'll know that's Tommy.
Basically, yes, pretty much.
Look for the 80s thing.
White Astro van, yeah.
Okay. Well, all right then. So next on my list is... Don Henley.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Now, see, I'm not much of an Eagles fan. I don't hate the Eagles, but I don't like them. And I really can't stand Glenn Frey and Don Henley.
As
complete pricks.
As human beings, basically?
As human beings, but also a lot of the music. I mean, the heat is on and all that shit. But there's one thing that I granted that's Glenn Frey, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of lumping them together. But let's face it. Once an eagle, always an eagle. Kind of like once a beetle, always a beetle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to carry that with you, no matter what you think you're shedding. You're not.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love, and I always did. I didn't admit it to myself in the 80s, but I did always love it, and now I openly admit it that I fucking love so much. The Boys of Summer.
I knew you were going to go there.
The Boys of Summer is an amazing song.
It really is.
When that song was new, I was a metal kid, and I wasn't supposed to like that. And so, I don't know if I fully admitted to myself at the time, but that song has... See, there's one ingredient for music that always gets me, and it's the feeling, the dreamy feeling, and feeling of nostalgia that even like a brand new song that is up to the second can give you. And there was a lot of songs like that in the 80s and in the 70s that gave me that feeling, and I'm a sucker for that. Boys of Summer. And the thing that's great about it too is that I got that feeling from it at the time, and now it actually is decades later, and it's so much more potent now.
It's got to resonate much more for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate that song.
Shut down.
I totally forgive you. I forgive you.
I just think it's so... I don't even know. I wasn't prepared for this. So
I find myself playing it every time I pick up a guitar and I have it set to clean. I just go right to it. Yep.
Oh, the
Oh yeah, that whole intro. It's beautiful. Yeah.
No.
Set your amp up. Nice stereo.
You have like a delay on it.
Yeah. It was a nice ping pong delay and some chorus, and just go right to it.
All right, dorks. Oy vey.
Well,
I get it though. Eagles and Eagles adjacent artists, they tend to provoke a very strong reaction in people. There's a lot of people who just passionately despise the Eagles. Like it's become a sport to hate the Eagles, which I don't know. That's a topic for another day. But
yeah.
But moving on to another very polarizing band. So this is a legendary band. Been around since the 60s. Had a decades-long run. Passionate following. Hordes of followers. Hordes, I believe, is the correct term. I'm going to hit you with Grateful Dead.
Oh, God.
Touch of Grey.
Oh. Whoa. Wait. So you hate the Grateful Dead. Understandable, but the one you like is Touch of Grey.
Touch of Grey?
So let me
the 80s song.
Yes.
Let me hit you. It's not just 80s, but 1987. For the record, 1987 has become known around at home as the one true year, because it seems like that's like the epicenter of everything I love. Like I tend to love things the most if they...
How old were you in 1987?
I would be 9 years old.
Oh my God.
So it was when everything was just the most right. Everything was just... It was... Anyway, It's a whole thing. So
all right.
My talking points for this particular song. I think... What did I write? Oh, gosh. I wrote just ... No. I've loved this song since it came out in 1987, but on the few occasions when I'd been exposed to other Dead songs, it was always a hard pass. And I put Truckin', Casey Jones, etc. I've always steered very clear of the whole Deadhead thing. Recently, I took a stroll through some of their most highly regarded albums, such as American Beauty, Working Man's Dead, other albums like that. And to say I was disappointed is putting it mildly.
Wow.
I really think that the Grateful Dead is truly an example of what can happen if you
Drop enough
experiment with too much substances to the point where it might be clouding your judgment. It's just crap. It's just pure crap. Somebody else recently told me they had a hilarious take on the Grateful Dead. Ralph Del Coral. Ralph. He said that he got gotcha'd by the Grateful Dead when he was younger because he used to do this thing where he would buy albums based upon the album art, and then it was working out great for him. And then one day he was like, "Oh, it's Grateful Dead, all these skulls and all this stuff." Yeah, so he brought home a Grateful Dead record, and it's like, this approach is not going to work any longer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
yeah, it was just, at best, it's just a bunch of meandering nonsense. And then at worst, it's like, it sounds like they got some drunken neighbor to just yell into a microphone for some like blues shamble. It's just crap. It's just crap. I don't know how they managed to maintain a career as long as they did, other than drugs. I hate to make it such a simple thing, but it's got to be the drugs. It has to be about the drugs and the sense of community that cropped up around the traveling shit show that was the Grateful Dead.
I need a miracle.
All that crap.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's the jam band thing too. People are just really that is their thing. They like bands that do that.
And you're not going to find a style of music probably more not Tommy than jam bands, honestly. I mean, maybe if Drake put together a jam band,
shit.
I think maybe then that would be even worse.
Wow.
If people would do some jamming with like some gated drum machines, and some some Casios,
and the sound of a drunken robot,
something
rapping,
like that.
then that could do it. But yeah, Grateful Dead, no, I can't step to the Dead. But Touch of Grey, I think, is just a slice of genius pop songwriting. It's genuinely a beautiful song. It gets me every time. I've loved it since day one. I'm gonna love it till the end. It's a great song, and it seems like it's a great song in spite of the Grateful Dead. I don't know how they made that one. I don't know how they managed to shit that one out. I think it's beautiful. I think it's
I'll tell you how.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. It was the mid '80s, and some big record label went, "All right, motherfuckers."
Yeah, you got to get on MTV. We need an MTV hit. We need an MTV song. Knock it off with this hippie shit.
Right.
Come up with something poppy.
Yeah, Jerry went MT what?
It worked. Of course, it figures that's the one that speaks to me, but it worked. I think it's a great song.
Wow. This band is unbelievably, beyond wildly overrated.
Didn't we already talk about Oasis?
I got another one.
Oh, there's more that fit the bill.
There's more that fit that bill, and you know this. They came at a time in the 90s when, I don't know how to explain it. They're just terrible. They're noise, and they just suck ass. Oh, but
Sonic Youth?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I called it?
You called it.
They do. They are noise. They do suck ass.
Yes.
And they are wildly overrated.
When that album Daydream Nation came out, I listened to it and I thought, what are you people talking about? This is terrible. Listen to Can if you want to hear noise. This sucks.
That is people who get their music taste from critics.
Basically. Yeah. So the song by them that I enjoy is Into the Groovy.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, well.
So we
Ciccone Youth.
It's Ciccone Youth. So it was like their little offshoot band, and I talked about it in my podcast. And it is their version of Into the Groove.
Oh, okay.
Or is it Ciccone?
Ciccone.
I think Ciccone. Italian last names ended with an E.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah.
Those people, they called it Ciccone Youth. Anyway, it's a 12-inch single, and it intersperses her song, and then they're just like, the thirsting more, I don't know what a sweet sensation, and it's just reverb, and it's just, it's this complete psychedelic dance thing.
Have you heard it?
It works.
I have not. It sounds like I would hate it a lot, though.
It possibly, but I like it because it takes the piss out of Madonna. It's a really great song to do that to, because that song, at last count, had like 700 remixes. at that time, there were tons of white labels remixes of that. Everybody was remixing it. I think I might have one in my closet that I made. And I just love it because it was completely unexpected to come from Sonic Youth. Oh,
like the great Artie.
Like they're just too highbrow for that. But it works, and I really enjoy it.
I find that very, very troublesome because, I mean, first of all,
very troublesome.
Surprise, surprise, I deeply, deeply love 80s Madonna.
Yeah.
I especially deeply love Into the Groove. And also, there is a correct version of Into the Groove. There's the two official edits of that song. There's the one that starts with just the synth.
Yes.
And then there's the one that just drops right in. The one that drops right in, that's the correct version.
Oh, okay.
That's the good version.
Noted.
It hits all the right feels.
I already know this.
I don't know this.
I already know this. Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I worry when people deconstruct or take the piss out of songs I love.
Well, you might enjoy it. I mean, you might hate it now that we know about your Grateful Dead hatred. But the rest of us, even though I hate them more than you do, because I actually saw them in concert twice to try and understand what the deal was, and it is definitely drugs. That's it. There's no other reason for it. Everybody's wasted. Fuck. So
anyway.
I'll play it for you, and you might like it, you might hate it, but I love it.
Yeah, and unfortunately we can't play music on YouTube on these videos, otherwise I would play stuff, so you guys are just going to have to go do your own research if you haven't heard it.
Look it up, you'll find it.
Yeah, I really can't stand Sonic Youth either, and I don't get it. I have a friend who that was his favorite band in the 90s, and because that was his favorite band, I saw them a couple times as well. I mean, I saw them at the Greek Theater in LA, and I saw them somewhere in San Francisco, and I actually kind of enjoyed the shows, actually, but I don't like the records. And, I can't say really that there's a Sonic Youth song that I like. To me, I may be wrong about this, but I always think that they come off to me like rich kids trying to be the Velvet Underground.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
That is correct, sir.
It's complete pretentious nonsense.
Yeah. Like they're so serious and it's so great and like
everything
there's
sucks.
a woman in the band, but I mean, no, they're bad.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
Yeah,
the hateful comments are going to come. Bring it.
Bring them on.
Okay.
So we're back to you.
I don't even know.
The list here.
The list.
Okay. Well, I have next on my list somebody that I hate so much that I have been at various times in my life known for hating. I cannot stand Sting.
Oh yeah.
I cannot
You're
stand Sting.
For hating him.
I did
At
not
least
know
with
this.
me anyway. Yeah.
Huh.
Sting, talk about pretentious, talk about, overrated, he's just, I kind of like the Police stuff. I mean, when I say I dislike Sting, I kind of dislike him personally, or hate, I should say, and I really mainly hate his solo stuff. I can do the Police, but I'm not really a big fan. Sting solo, it just goes into this fucking Pottery Barn shit that I just, pretentious Pottery Barn shit that just makes me want to kill. And again, him as a person, I just find really just, I'd like to slug him in the face personally. You better hope I don't run into you one day, Sting. But there's one Sting song that I absolutely love. And kind of for the same reason that I love the Don Henley song. Fortress Around Your Heart.
Okay.
I knew it.
Yeah, I kind of could call that one too.
Yeah, because that's one of those things. When I was in high school, that record came out when I was 16. Dream of the Blue Turtles album came out around 86, right? And I was about 16, and I would always go to bed with my radio on. And it was just the right thing at the right time. You ever go to bed with music on and you kind of wake up 3 hours later and you can still kind of hear the music and you're kind of in a dream state and the music's on?
Yep.
I did that one night and Fortress Around Your Heart was on the radio and I was like, wow, I really like this. It was like almost like a drug reaction. Like, wow, I really like this. Ooh.
That's the only way somebody would get turned on to this. Oh, man.
But it worked, and, I've been a fan of the song ever since.
Of all the songs, sorry, Tommy, this is really gagging me.
Because you really hate that one?
Because I hate that song. And
it's probably his most Pottery Barn song.
No, because you were about to say something.
Oh, no.
his solo stuff is terrible.
It is.
It's really, really bad. Dream of the Blue Turtles? What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, he actually had a dream about Blue Turtles.
Yeah.
Come on. And I'm a huge Police fan. I love the Police. Saw them a bunch of times. Always amazing show. Fantastic. I saw him once, the solo, that tour, because my cousin got me tickets because he was friends with Branford. And I wanted to like jump out of the closest window. I couldn't take it.
Did he do any Police stuff?
Yeah, but he did his version of
Right, he did like the
slow down version, like it's like how Clapton used to do
right, the Starbucks version.
Yeah, like yeah. So and it sucked even worse. And I'm sitting there with people who were like, "Oh my god, it's so great!" And I was just like, I was like Elaine watching that fucking movie. Oh God!
What
yeah.
is it? Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No. It was when she was with Mr. Peterman and the English Patient. And she's just like, I can't stand it. And then Peterman's like, "You're fired." She's like, "I'll meet you outside." Like runs out of the theater.
See, I don't know that Sting provokes this reaction in me though. I mean,
With the Police, I'm cool. By himself,
Police and Sting solo are two very distinct things.
Can't do
but
it.
Sting, I mean, I'm not a fan of Sting's solo work either. Although that is a really good song. That's a really solid choice. But I think that the thing with him is I find his music just but it's just over there just it's just harmless. I find it doesn't offend me because I just could care less. It's just so
Too bland to hate.
It's aggressively bland. Yeah, but
well, again, like kind of like my initial reaction to Oasis.
yeah, I could just ignore it. It's like, okay, good for you, I guess. Do your thing. Yeah, I don't know. Which again is not really the kind of thing you want to hear people saying about your work.
Yeah, I think an artist would rather hear you have a passionate hatred than
exactly
that you just
some
like
kind of strong
like,
response.
barely notice they're there.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Sting, I guess am I getting a filling? Is that why I'm hearing this right now? Because I'm in the dentist's office waiting room. Like, is that why this is on?
wouldn't calm me down before a root canal.
Yeah.
I'd rather have another root canal than listen to that.
And she's on record with that.
I'm on record
Root
saying
canals
that.
over Sting.
No problem.
Well, now on to Tommy.
Over to me. So I'm trying to keep things. I'm trying to throw some curves at you guys here. So entry number 3. This is an artist who I can't wait to get your reaction as soon as I say this artist's name. This is an artist that actually, I don't know if I could say I hate this artist. Maybe I hate this artist because this artist angers me. I'm very resentful of this artist. I'm very, I'll explain it all. My entry is If We Ever Get Back by Frank Stallone.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
Let me continue.
How could you possibly hate Frank Stallone?
So here's my bullet points, my talking points. Pretty much his entire catalog is completely mediocre, as Melissa says.
Entire catalog?
Entire catalog is completely.
How many
Is there an
albums
entire
is that?
catalog?
More than you'd believe.
Is it more than 5?
One is more than I believe.
Decades worth of releases.
Oh,
so then, as Melissa terms it, mediocre. Is the style of music.
Mediocre.
So basically a complete waste of connections. It's only vaguely listenable to me since some of it was produced in the 80s. He could sing and play just fine. This isn't a Frank Stallone has no talent thing. He clearly does, but his songs are C-sides at best. That's my problem with Frank Stallone.
C-sides.
This is why I hate Frank Stallone. That is a catchy song. I'll give him that. I enjoy that song a lot. I put it on a lot of 80s.
Never heard it.
People, look it up. If We Ever Get Back by Frank Stallone. But the problem is the guy's music is just such... He can't write a song to save his life. And he clearly only got the exposure he did because his brother, obviously being Sylvester. And that's my anger with Frank Stallone. A complete
Nepotism.
and total waste of connections. What he could have done with his connections if he could actually write a good song. Just think about the possibilities. But because his music is so aggressively mediocre and subpar, that's why all the Frank Stallone, what a joke, Frank Stallone. The fact that his brother paraded him out there and gave him all these connections, and his music is just like, what is the point of this? If Frank Stallone had just been a guitar player, a rhythm guitarist in some successful band, and had used his connections that he got from his brother.
He plays guitar?
Yeah, he's a guitarist.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a guitarist, songwriter, singer. I mean, the guy has ability, but he does not have the ability to be a solo star, and that's what he tried to be via his brother. And it made him look like a joke. And that complete waste of that connection frustrates me to no end because it's just crap that should not have been given the exposure that it was given.
He should have snuck out as like the rhythm guitarist of the Outfield or something.
I mean, if he had done that, if he had been the
Outfield.
rhythm guitarist, backup vocalist in some band, and used his connections to get that band the exposure that it needed, playing somebody else's songs, it would have been cool. And it would have been a good use of a connection. But instead, he tried to be a solo star and did not have the juice to be a solo star.
But hey, man, he has a song you like, so...
But he's got one song I really like, so there you go.
What's
Take
it
for what
called
it's worth.
again?
If We Ever Get Back by Frank Stallone.
Was
Yeah.
this on the radio?
Maybe. I don't know.
If we ever-
Well, how do you know the song?
Maybe it was
Yeah.
like number 180 with a bullet.
How do you
know the song?
I've done a lot of 80s deep dives.
That don't get no deeper.
That's like.
I think it was released as a single, but it didn't chart very high.
And were you in Atlantis when you heard this?
I might have heard it on one
It
of
was
those,
that deep of
one
a
of those
dive into the
Casey
ocean?
Kasem,
Deeper and
reruns or something.
Oh wow!
Coming in at number 161 with a bullet.
With a bullet.
If We Ever Get Back by Frank Stallone, yeah. Disappearing from the charts next week. One of those, yeah.
All right.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right.
All right. We're back. This is song number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. All right. A lot of these things I'm now realizing are from the 90s. Oh, jeez.
A little bit of a pattern there.
Well,
Yeah, but not surprising.
Not surprisingly, yeah.
Okay. So this band is they're not a good band.
They're not a good band. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We do not want to have a good band.
They're
on
not a
this
good
list.
band. They're very middle of the road and mediocre and benign. And it's almost like, why are you even a band? Why do you even exist? It makes no sense.
I can't wait to
But
hear
there's
this.
one song that I absolutely love. And we've talked about it on my podcast. The band is called Cake.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hope it's
And
not the track I think it is.
You know it is.
Oh, shit.
Because
I
we
hate
talked
this
about
Oh, we've
it.
discussed this, haven't we?
discussed this already. And the song is their cover of I Will Survive.
Oh.
That's fine. Everybody can poo-poo it, thumbs down it, hate
no.
it, whatever. Paul and I discussed this on my podcast already. The reason why I like it, I love it. I do.
You
I
want some
enjoy
more of it.
I want some more of it. Thank you. I
love it,
like
want
it.
some
I
more
love
of
it.
it.
I want some more.
Oh, yeah? You don't like it, you can shove it.
It's because it is a excellent cover version. The way that I quantify, qualify, rate cover versions is, number 1, the further it is away from the original and it still holds up, that's very important to me. Then you get into, do they follow the original arrangement and instrumentation and the vocals and all that nitpicky stuff. But right off the bat, when you hear the song, the first, like the opening couple of measures, you're not really sure what's happening. And then as it gets into it, it's not grabbing you. Because it's like it's just very like middle of the road, like you'd hear in some bar somewhere, And then he starts singing, and his voice is Paul hates his voice. And he's just like
Doing the fucking
until I fall apart, not pieces of my broken heart. And then you're like, wait a minute, is this what I think it is? And then you realize that it is. And the affectation of his voice and all, I love the trumpet solo doing I enjoy it.
You know what?
thoroughly.
I am actually okay with the trumpet solo, but that's the only thing I
That's
like
the only
about
thing
it.
you
I
like.
passionately dislike that band. Even if they changed their name to Ice Cream Cake, it would not be enough.
Cookie Puss. If they change it to Cookie Puss.
Cookie Puss.
Cookie Opus.
But if they go to Fudgy the Whale, then
That's
Either
it.
way, I want if Cake changed their name to Cookie Opus and they floated through space with like hallucinogenic graphics and some weird like Cookie if Cake became a Carvel ice cream commercial from the 80s, it
You'd
still wouldn't be
still
enough.
hate
They're
it.
they're terrible. They're terrible. They're one of those bands that sound like they're doing literally everything ironically. Like they're too cool to take it seriously. And I'm going to be
Yeah.
circling back around to that in my entry. in this
Boy,
one, too.
oh.
So, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and for people who enjoy cover songs and cover versions, I think that you will agree with me on my criteria, because it does follow the arrangement, but it's acoustic guitar, a little bit of electric, you hear drums, there's bass, and then this trumpet. And I think it's genius. And I stand by that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, you know, your whole thing about covers needing to be very different from the original and all that kind of stuff. But, and I can dig that, but I have one other criteria.
And that is...
It has to be good.
Ooh, yeah. That's
I have to.
I thought you were gonna
I'm not
say-
going to like it just for being different. I have to. I want to like what they did with it.
I thought you were going to say
it's easily
it shouldn't
overlooked.
It shouldn't suck.
Same
It shouldn't
difference.
suck. Well, there's that too.
That too, yeah.
As well as it should be good.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I've always hated Cake, kind of probably for the same reason as you, and well, for the same reason as you.
Yeah.
You know. I especially hate that cover. And what didn't they have like Built for Distance, Built for Speed? Isn't that them?
We're going the distance.
We're going
for speed. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
He's
that's like
all
the-
alone. All alone. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the lowest end of the 90s. But you know what's funny about that is, as much as I always disliked them, I was in a band that used to play with them a lot, and we did some touring with them, and I actually kind of enjoyed seeing them live. And I don't know, to be honest, if it was because I genuinely enjoyed them musically live, or if I was just so
Caught up.
I may have been in the spirit, because it was exciting, because we were like playing these huge theaters and stuff, and I think I was probably just in such a headspace that I was like, wow, this is great. But I always would come away from those shows going, well, I don't like their cover of I Will Survive, and I don't like their songs, I don't like their approach or how they present themselves, but I really enjoyed that live show. But
well, that's not
I really don't know.
I saw them live before this was a thing. This song was a thing. And I just thought, oh, well, you know, they're okay. I mean, I literally saw them by accident because they opened for somebody else, and
And you went,
know.
whoops.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, but I just stayed, so it wasn't hurting me, so I just sat through it.
Wasn't it though? I mean, I would argue differently.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
we'll table that for now.
Yeah.
yeah, it's something to consider. Well,
Yeah, that's something to consider.
Dr. Bertolino.
I'm keeping it retro with my pad of paper here. I'm also trying to decide. Well, I know which one I'm doing last, because that's my big guns here. But but I'm going to go with an artist that is well loved by hipsters.
Uh-oh.
Well loved by
That's a
hipsters,
problem right there.
and it is an artist who the people who like this person think they're kind of on the fringe. They think they're in like a special little club.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I have a suspicion.
You may not, because this is a little, I don't know. Okay, now basically what it's down to is I'm not really much of a country guy. I don't really like country. There are exceptions. There's certain artists I like, and certain sort of types of country. You know, of course I like Willie Nelson and I like Johnny Cash, although I would argue that Johnny Cash is more of a folk artist than a genuine country artist. But generally, country definitely does not, is not my thing, man. But this artist is, I consider, not only is he too much of a country artist, but I also consider him to be a phony. On top of it, now you may know who I'm talking about. Graham Parsons.
Okay, that's a good one.
Graham Parsons. And so for the longest time, I always had all these friends. They would when I used to live in California, they had this thing where people would go out to Joshua Tree and have a Graham Parsons sort of meet, and everybody would go out there and do drugs and pretend they were hip. And I would just be like,
Hard pass.
this sucks. But one night, speaking of being on tour with a band, one night I was on the road, and we were on tour, and it was late at night. In the van, and you know how it is. You've been on the road. Everybody in the van gets their turn to put on music, and right. It's late at night, and we're somewhere in Luzerne County in Pennsylvania, somewhere deep into nowhere where there's just nothing but trees and road, and it's like 2 a.m. And one of the guys in the band decides to put on Graham Parsons.
Which one?
And I don't remember the name of the album. It's
No.
probably not GP. I think it's the first one.
Who from the band?
Well, when I say the song, you'll know which album. And the song She comes on, and I was like, okay.
This is one I'm going to have to check out, because I'm not that familiar with this song.
She is a song from the first Graham Parsons. It's a ballad. It's not really one of his more... I mean, it's a country ballad, but it's just really... And and I guess in a way, I mean, at the risk of being boring here, it also kind of has the same criteria as the other songs that I've come up with so far. It's just really kind of dreamy, and it's really, in a country way, of course, but at the same time, I've just always loved that song ever since. And it also kind of takes me to that moment too, because you ever hear stuff late at night on the road, and it sounds different from to you than it does if you're out in the middle of the afternoon. It just catches you in a different way.
Different circumstances change it, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know the song She?
I do know the song She, and it is a really good song.
It's a great song. And the thing is because I really like that song, every once in a while I would think, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to check out Graham Parsons some more. Maybe I missed it before. Let me listen to it again. And I always go back and go,
you didn't miss anything.
I don't like this. This sucks. But She remains great.
Who in the band played it?
Mike Farrell.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to check this track out, and I might end up leaving a comment in here to see if I agree with Dr. Bertolino or not about She.
It is a great song. It's a great song. Well, now, how do you feel about Graham Parsons?
I watched Grand Theft Parsons. I don't know. I don't really care. And mostly the stuff that hipsters tend to hype up, I tend to just be like. Sometimes I feel like artists like that, they just listen to just to be different, just to be contrary. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know that I would say I couldn't apply the word hate to Parsons. I don't think that would be fair, though.
Right.
I just don't think I care.
Well,
which again
also
is not really the kind of thing somebody wants to hear.
Either.
Fortunately, he's not here.
He's not here to hear that. Actually, or maybe he can hear.
He's with us now.
Well, and also, the hipsters tend to like the Graham Parsons Birds album, which I don't like.
Yeah.
Sweetheart of the Rodeo.
Yeah, I know.
They love that record.
Love that
yeah. And it's another, you have to like it.
There's always plenty of pressings of that available at Rough Trade.
For $25.
And they always seem to sell them.
Of course.
It's huge in Williamsburg.
Have fun.
And I'm mad at him for having a nudie suit. I don't think he deserved it. But that's just me.
Well, what are you going to do?
No real friends
So
of Graham Parsons here. So over to me. So pivoting back a little bit to, I feel a similar kind of vibe as what you laid down with Cake. I've got Winona's Big Brown Beaver by Primus.
Fuck. Oh.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So let's get this really straight. You don't like Primus, but you like that song?
Let me continue.
All right.
Okay, all right.
So, as always, I've got my talking points.
So good, good.
A deeply silly, but still very fun and catchy song that I've liked since day one. I wish I could say the same about literally anything else in their catalog. Part of me feels like Primus is for people who are into anti-music. It's for people that enjoy music that is mocking itself, mocking you, and mocking anyone who has ever really actually tried really hard to sound good and write catchy, accessible songs. It's an attitude like, can you believe this? We're in a band. Ha ha, who would even do such a thing? We're too cool and in the know to actually take this whole idea seriously, wink. So we're just going to sing everything like Ernest P. Worrell while playing bass solos the entire time. It's like hipster prog, and then those people project an air of superiority over anyone who doesn't get it. See also much of Frank Zappa's catalog.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Shots way fired.
It's crap. It's crap. My name is Mud. Come on.
And you know what?
What have you been doing?
Especially fuck them for taking the wind out of our sails by saying themselves Primus sucks. Now we can't say it.
Now we can't.
Now we
they
can't
took
even
it.
say it.
Yeah, it's not.
They're smart for that, but
it's crap. But
they still suck.
I heard that song. That was my first actual exposure to Primus. I was like, this song is ridiculous, but it's kind of fun. I'm kind of enjoying this. It's really
How
catchy.
old were you when you heard that song?
Well, so when did that? Sailing Seas of Cheese, so it would be like 94, 93-ish or so. So I would have been in high school. Yeah, I was young enough that it hit me in the right way, and then I started checking out other Primus stuff, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going to do at all. What's happening? Is my stereo broken? Like, I'm checking to make sure that one of the speakers isn't out. Like, yeah, I can't get with Primus for all the reasons I just put in there. It's people that listen to that they're listening to outsider music, anti-music. I'm going to be very careful and not drop certain names here, because I know that I'm going to end up stepping on some toes.
Too late.
Bring it.
Just say it.
Bring it.
Okay, you know what? Fine. People that listen to Primus, they're super into Zappa. These are the people that are super into stuff like Captain Beefheart. These are people who are super into the Shags. The Shags are an example of 3 children who got abused by their father and forced to do something they didn't want to do. It is not music. I am aware of what you're pulling out of your record collection right now. It is not. It's not good. It's outsider music. It's nonsense. I put it all in the same category. These are the same. Yes, I know. It's autographed. I know you guys did. I know you did the Shags
Tommy
show.
and the Shags were in the same room
together. I am
together.
sure they are absolutely wonderful women. They did not want to make that record. You know they didn't want to make that record.
Mm-hmm.
People, stop pretending Primus is good. Stop pretending Frank Zappa is accessible. Stop pretending you like Captain Beefheart. Stop pretending that should have been released. Like, that's... Seriously.
Wow.
Seriously.
Well, I mean, I think all those... Well, the Shags I wouldn't put in the category with the others.
Definitely not.
Because I think that the people who like Zappa, the people who like Beefheart, the people who like even Primus, I think they genuinely like the music. The Shags are kind of a thing where it's kind of like, it's more just like a, holy shit, I can't believe this exists. I mean, I don't put that on and groove to it. I think I don't think any,
do.
Some people do, but I mean, for myself, it's just sort of like this novelty of like, what? You know?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But I bring that up because of the whole outsider music thing, which I think that Primus definitely fits into, or what I refer to him as hipster prog. It's just stupid. It's like it's stupid, and it's like people who listen to that. This is quite possibly just my perception of this, but I feel like they think they're better than others just because they listen to nonsense.
Okay, let me break this down for you for a
Please.
minute. First of all, you made an arch enemy out of Jesse Krakow.
I know. I had to go. I know.
And Mike
I had to
Fornatale.
wade
And
into
like
this.
20 other people we know.
I can't be sure if Mike Fornatale likes me or hates me at any given moment of the day. So that
Well, welcome to that
that
club.
was a crapshoot there.
That's a crap-
Jesse, I apologize to you in advance. I knew that I was going to be wading into very dangerous waters here with that.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I know you love Primus.
And you don't know Adam Minkoff, but you made an enemy of him as well.
Jesse, I love you. I love working with you. Jesse, you're the best. Primus is the worst. I'm sorry.
I will also say this. I'm not a huge Beefheart fan. I'm not a huge Zappa fan. I don't worship these guys at all. I feel as though Primus is kind of making fun of them, right? In what you just said, the way that you just said it. Because they are very much acquired tastes, Zappa and Beefheart. I think even Beefheart even more than Frank Zappa. If you really listen to Frank Zappa and you think about where he's getting stuff from, it's not just coming out of his ass. He's obviously listening to classical music. He was a great musician. He wrote some really interesting and hard and challenging shit.
Yeah,
it's
and then,
like
and then he titles that stuff coming out of my ass.
Right. Well,
right,
that's
right.
because he was a mental patient, but we can't hold that.
Well,
against
that's
him.
because he wanted his stuff to be instrumental. He didn't want to have lyrics in the first place.
Yeah.
And since and it was this thing like he was kind of being a petulant child about it. Like, okay, well, if I have to have lyrics
Then I'm
and
gonna do
vocals, then
this.
I'm going to do it this way and make a big joke out of it and
you.
go poo poo pee pee jokes all over
Yeah.
the place.
I
And-
hear you.
Exactly.
I hear where you're coming from with this. I really do.
Because I think Primus is embarrassing.
They really are. But
And I just made enemy of Karina and a bunch of other people, but
And probably Jesse as
It
well.
is what. No. I've had these discussions with Jesse ad infinitum because you don't do a shag show with Jesse, and I mean, it was. Yeah, we talked about it. We didn't come to
about all this kind of
fisticuffs,
stuff.
but we talked about it because I went through all that with Adam Minkoff and a bunch of other dudes who were just like, "Oh my God, Zappa is so fucking great," and I was like, "Well, so I listened to it more." And I listened to it with them and then talking about these things. And I was just like, okay, I grasped more of it. But Primus, no. That's a no.
It's technically difficult. All that stuff is. Primus stuff is very, very challenging to play, but it doesn't mean what they're playing is good.
It's fantastic. I get it.
I've seen Zappa Does Zappa. It was impressive watching them pull that stuff off. I still hate it every second of it. I have no room. I have no time in this life for music that I feel is novelty music. Music that doesn't take
No
itself
disco
seriously.
duck for you?
I can't mess with that stuff. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the space for it. I really don't. I don't. Life is too short to mess around with somebody who can't take their music serious. I
Okay.
I have no space in my life for Primus.
You heard it.
Well, and now which also is further explanation as to why he doesn't like Poison.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, well, that's the end of part 1, and I'm sure you're all hopping mad and ready to come strangle us all now for speaking ill of Eric Clapton and Primus and Oasis and all those bands that you love so much. Or maybe you really hate all those artists too. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. And if you like the videos that you see, if you like this video, if you like any of my other videos, and you want to see more, and you want to know when those videos come out, subscribe and hit the bell when you subscribe. And like the videos and all that kind of stuff helps the algorithm, right? And yeah. And well, I will see you soon. We'll all see you very soon on part 2. All right. See you next time.